What is shaking? Happy Wednesday to you. I am in the backyard, per usual. We got the fountain. We got rain. We got weather. We got it all. I couldn't be happier. Sitting outside, listening to the rain just fall gently onto the canopy. It's such a great sound. That's one sound that I never got growing up, except when I went back to Alabama. They used to have a shed, a tin roof shed, and when it rained, there's nothing like rain hitting a tin roof. It just like puts you to sleep. It's like, oh, rain on the, oh, this is awesome. The tin roof, rain. Oh, what happened? I just the sound of rain hitting like the canopy right now. Like I could fall asleep. You may have to wake me up. That's a possibility. I may have to have Ogden or Max in my ear going, wake up, because it's very soothing. Just soothing. It's a nice gentle breeze, a little humidity in the air, so it's not cold. Still nice and warm. I can get away with a t-shirt. Thought about putting on a hoodie, and I said, fucking hoodie? Hoodie? Man, no. Soft. Let's go with the t-shirt as long as possible. So we busted out the AC/DC shirt and the Day of the Dead hat, the minor league hat, but I forget who had this. 7 3/4, by the way, in case you're wondering. Yeah, I have a rather large head, so but it is a sweet hat. Love this hat. So a baseball style hat, if you will, and that's where I want to start today. It's kind of funny to me. Like, as you guys know, one of the reasons I started doing this because I like talking sports. I like talking all different sports, and we'll get into some different sports today. And I know kind of how I know what you guys want to hear. Like, everyone wants to hear Niners, and that's what everyone talks about. You look at all the podcasts, like local podcasts, and that's all everyone does is 49er, 49er, 49er. And I get it. They know that's what their audience wants. Whether they want to talk about it or not, they're going to stick with 49er talk. I just, I'm interested in the 49ers too, but there's other things going on. And there'll be plenty of playoff baseball talk in the upcoming months. Plenty of basketball talk. Once the season gets going, I don't talk a ton of basketball early on. It's 82 games. I call games for the Warriors, so obviously I'll be talking to the about the Warriors quite a bit, and we should have a kind of a cool announcement concerning the Warriors and a certain guest that I'll be having on throughout the course of the season that I think you guys will enjoy. But at that point, it's football, but college football and pro football. Like, there's a lot to talk about college football this week. We got Oregon, Penn State, we got Ohio State, Washington, we got Bama at Georgia, to a lesser extent, Arkansas at Notre Dame. So we got some pretty good games this weekend. But the big two, unfortunately, are on at the exact same time. Oregon travels to Happy Valley to take on the Nittany Lions, and Bama heading between the hedges to take on the Georgia Bulldogs. Although I am curious to see how Ohio State does at Washington. That is not an easy place to play. It's loud. Once they get that siren cranked up, it gets even louder. Jed Fish has done a real nice job with that Washington program. Their quarterback, Williams, is kind of a dual threat guy, and he's pretty damn good. They got good receivers at Washington. So I'm interested to see how Ohio State handles that, because I think that's going to be a not as big-time challenge as the other two, but it's going to be a pretty tough challenge to go up to Seattle, the Puget Sound, and see if they get that. So you guys will have to bear with me occasionally, because I'm going to talk about what I find interesting. It's not just going to be spoon feeding everybody what they want to hear all the time. I know you guys want to hear Niners. I know you want to hear like, hey, what's going on with the Niners and Bosa and Trey Hendrickson? Is he a possibility? Is Chubb a possibility? Is who? We'll get to that, okay? But we got to start out with what could be one of the biggest gag jobs in my lifetime. I mean, this would be a monstrous gag if the Tigers, one, do not win the Central, which I believe they're up 15 and a half games, 13 and a half games at some point during the season, and two, miss the playoffs altogether. The Tigers, for the most part, were the best team in the American League going back probably a couple months, maybe even a month or so. They might have still had the best record. Toronto got hot there for an extended stretch. There was a stretch during the season where Toronto and Milwaukee did not lose. Both of them won. If you had like a Toronto-Milwaukee two-team parlay every night, you could probably retire right now. They just refused to lose. Toronto may have taken them over. I'm not sure the exact date that Toronto took over the best record in the American League. And that's not even a for sure thing now. I think the Yankees are only one game behind the Blue Jays. So we'll see if the Blue Jays can hang on to these. But let's concentrate on the Central for a minute. Over the last 18 games, 18, when the Detroit Tigers 18 games ago had a 10-game lead. 10-game lead over the Guardians. Like, there's no way you're going to overcome that. There's no way you're going to overcome that. Over the last 18 games, Cleveland 16-2, Tigers 5-13. And they've picked up 11 games over the last 18 games and now sit ahead of the Tigers. You say, well, they're tied. They are, but the Guardians have the tiebreaker. So the Tigers have to finish ahead of the Guardians. They can't tie them. So in essence, one game back right now for the Tigers. And if you look at the wild card, they're like a game ahead in the wild card. I think they're a game ahead of the Astros. And I'm not sure who has the tiebreaker between the Tigers and the Astros. Everybody was figuring out the tiebreaker between the Guardians and everybody. It might not be the Guardians. It may be the Tigers. Now, that would be a choke for the ages if the Tigers gagged this one away. Gagged it away. They think they've lost. Now, I don't know this for a fact because I don't know how many they've lost in a row to the Tigers or the Guardians, but they've lost the last 4. They got swept in Detroit. Swept out of your own building by the Guardians. They pretty much could have salted it away at that point. They didn't. And they go back to Cleveland last night, and Cleveland gets another one. So now Cleveland is tied with the Tigers, but like I said, for all intents and purposes, they're one game up because of the tiebreaker. And it was a total Guardians type victory. Right? You bunt. It's like the old Giants ground attack. It's like, you got to run out of that? How do these guys get runs out of this? Like, they cannot hit. I was looking up the Guardians stats today. They're 20th in home runs. This is league stats, not American League stats. 20th in home runs, 29th in OPS. They strike out 18th. They're 18th in strikeouts, so kind of middle of the pack, and 11th in stolen bases. So they got them athleticism. They're 4th in ERA. So they pitch. And this is losing their closer, Emmanuel Clase, earlier in the year. Remember those gambling charges they had against him? They're investigating. So I don't know. I doubt he's going to be back this year, but that's your big time closer that they lost early in this year. Cade Smith has done a nice job. I think he has 16 saves this year. So he's done a nice job at the back end of the bullpen. But you look at the Indians, you look at the Guardians, and there's just nothing impressive about their sticks. Nothing. They had like 3 guys that I knew. Like I know Stephen Kwan. Everybody knows Jose Ramirez. I guess maybe a couple more. I knew Naylor just because Bo and Josh Naylor were brothers playing for the Guardians. And I knew David Fry. I was like, well, at least I know him. Well, that was until last night. If you didn't see this last night, then this is an odd situation. So it's 1st and 3rd. Guardians are down 1. I think it's in the 5th inning, could be 4th. 1st and 3rd, and you're going to bunt. It's weird to begin with, and David Fry is going to actually be out 6 to 8 weeks because of this, and this was a scary moment in Cleveland last night. Skubal on the mound, David Fry swerves the bunt, and this is what happened. I don't know if we could show that again. That was just, right to the face. You get hit in the head usually, right? You're batting. So you can turn away from it, or you get hit in the side of your face, you get hit in the jaw, maybe it grazes your nose. Fry was squared around a bunt and took a square fastball right to the middle of his face. I mean, Skubal's like, I can't believe I just did that. Fry's like, holy shit, that hurt. Jose Ramirez, hands on his, like, everybody knew, I mean, I was watching that last night because, like, right now, these feel like playoff games to me. But at that moment, everybody's like, whatever. I just hope this dude's alive, because you will not see a squarer shot to the head than that. And again, Skubal throws hard. Broken nose, facial fractures, out 6 to 8. So he'll be out for the playoffs, all of the playoffs. So that's a bat. I know David Fry wasn't having a great year and missed some other games too because of injury, but they just don't have much in the way of hitters. But they managed to get it done. Now, I wasn't able to find, I was looking up some other stats. I'm assuming they're a really good fielding team. I mean, you have to be to make up for the lack of hitting. Like, you better be tight in every other area. 4th in ERA, like, that checks. Good defense checks. Probably good base running team, that would check. Like, Stephen Vogt's done an incredible job with that team. And you give the players a credit because they don't even pitch. Like, the starting pitching isn't great. Bybee's their best pitcher, probably. Maybe Williams. Gavin Williams could be their best pitcher, but Bybee will probably start the playoffs, I would imagine. Saucony's okay. Like, they got some, again. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have a segment, and we should have this every single year, because the Indians, I should just call them the Indians. The Guardians are going to be in the playoffs. And the Guardians in the playoffs, like, at the beginning of the year, it takes me a while to get caught up with, like, who's on each team. Dodgers, Padres, I mean, of course, we all know the Giants. I know the Angels, Yankees, maybe Red Sox, like the bigger brand teams, The Guardians, you don't know. Guardians, you don't even know at the end of the year, which got me thinking about the scene in Major League when guys were discussing their, at the time, Cleveland Indians, and this is what they said.
Who are these fucking guys?
That's exactly how I feel. Who are these fucking guys?
Who are these fucking guys?
Like, I'm like, the fucking Indians? Who the Guardians, the Indians? What? Who are these guys? Like I said, I know Kwan, I know Ramirez, I know Naylor, I still know Fry, but that doesn't do me any good because Fry is no longer in the playoffs. Bybee, I do know. So we're gonna have a little we're gonna have a little segment for you. It's called Know Your Guardians. Go ahead. Let's get to know our Guardians. Bo Naylor, catcher, number 23, 25 years of age, with a robust, what was his batting average? You said 193. I mean, these guys, I'll give you the stats. Just pop up the names. I'm going to get my phone right here. I will pop up the stats for you. Bo Naylor, catcher for the Cleveland Guardians. Let me get all their player stats up here for you. There we go. 118 games, 399 plate appearances, batting a robust 194. Oh, yeah, 194, 662 OPS. So there's your catcher, Bo Naylor. All right, next. Who do we have next for our get to know you're into? Kyle Manzardo. Kyle's got a Manzardo. Kyle's got a. Look at that. Look at that mud. Look at this dude. What is that look? Mustache, hats all askew. Anyway. Kyle Manzardo's first baseman, appeared in 137 games this year. He actually has a 774 OPS and 26 home runs. So he's got a little pop. I would say batting a robust 236, but it's baseball. Everyone bats a robust 236 nowadays. All right, let's see. Let's move along. So there you go. Kyle Manzardo. Brian. What kind of spelling is that, by the way? Why can't we just spell names? We get to throw an extra A in there? Brian? Is it Brian Rocchio or Brian? And they just thought they'd sneak a fucking A in there on us. Like, we got to make it different. It can't be like every other Brian, Brayyan. Come on. I got to tell parents, you're not naming animals. You're naming humans, okay? Just keep it simple. You don't got to throw the extra B in there. Batting a robust 231. He sounds like a 1970s second baseman. No bat, all glove, 621 OPS, and 4 bombs. All right, moving on. Extra A Brian. We'll call him Extra A Brian. Gabriel Arias, excuse me. He played 124 games at shortstop. He, big stick, batting 222, OPS 639. He does have 11 homers, though. I like the spelling. Very easy. Gabriel Arias. Okay, very good. Moving on. Now, here's a guy who's a Hall of Famer. Jose Ramirez is a Hall of Famer. And remember, he signed the extension after Lindor left. Everybody kind of figured Jose Ramirez is going to leave, too. Why are you going to stay in Cleveland? Lindor left. You can't pay everybody. You're not going to have a big-time outfit every single year. You can't go get free agents. But Jose Ramirez stayed. He's getting paid enough to make him happy. And again, just putting together an incredible year. He has an 862 OPS, 30 home runs, 31 doubles, and I'm trying to get it right here. Yeah, 40 stolen bases and a glove at third base. So this guy's your stud. If you're Cleveland and it's a tough situation, you want this guy to be at the dish. All right, who we have in the outfield? Angel or Angel? Not really sure. Let's go with let's go with Angel Martinez. Angel Martinez, 471 at bats, 136 games, batting 228. Is everybody on this team batting 228? Like, if it wasn't for Jose Ramirez or Stephen Kwan, the next best guy must bet 242. So there you go. He has a 228 batting average, and I'm going to guess maybe like 8 jacks, something like that, 11 jacks. So 11 jacks. OPS, 636. Moving on. I'm guessing Steve. There we go. Stephen Kwan. Isn't Stephen Kwan from right around here? He's from Los Gatos. There you go. I knew he's from around here somewhere. So an Oregon State Beaver. So he's actually a guy that can hit a little bit. Batted 277 this year. Played 151 games. He has a 719 OPS, 111 or 11 home runs, and doesn't strike out very much. Only 57 strikeouts on the year. All right, last one. Ooh. Right field is going to be Janeski. There you go. Noel. John Kenzie. John Kenzie is what it is. Fuck. A lot of fucking vowels in that name. Anyway, this is a big dude. You'd think for a big dude, like, this guy's got some pop, right? Well, you would be wrong. He has played in 65 games this year and has an OPS of, if I could find it, where'd you go, Noel? There you are. batting 155. I mean, how do you bat 155? OPS of 452, 5 home runs. And like I said, the dude's big. He's like one of those 270, 260 type dudes. Big dude. So there you go. There's your Cleveland Indians. If you're into playoff baseball, they could very well be right now. They're leading the Central, and like I said, Bybee, Williams, Saccone. Go ahead. I love this. I love this clip.
These fucking guys.
Who are these fucking guys? I love the Asian dudes too. The Asian guys are just like they're shitty. They're shitty. I think they said they're shitty until they clinched the at the end with the Tom Berenger pointing out to the outfield and then dropping down the bunt, and Wesley Snipes comes ripping around third. Love the way Wesley Snipes ran in that movie. I bet you Wesley Snipes is an awful athlete. Just terrible. You watch him, you're like, dude. And he was in like two good sports movies. Well, I'm not considering the fan of sports movie, but he was in White Man Can't Jump and just looked like he had no idea how to dribble. And his shot was busted. Like, Woody Harrelson looked like he could play. Wesley Snipes looked like he had no clue, like, what was going on a basketball court at all. And he really didn't look like he could swing a bat or catch, although he did have the nice underhand catch. Remember when Lou Brown goes, "Nice catch, Hayes. Don't ever fucking do it again." Love Major League. Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Corbin Burnson punching Charlie Sheen in the gut for fucking his wife at the end of the movie. Charlie Sheen didn't know. Like he said, I didn't know. I guess that didn't Corbin Burnson did it to himself. You can't be behind the camera on a road trip taking some floozy up to the room. Like take the stairs. You did that to yourself. So don't blame Charlie Sheen for that. And I got to be honest, Corbin Burns' wife wasn't even that hot anyway. I mean, I'm thinking Charlie Sheen being the wild thing in that movie. Could have done better, couldn't he? Maybe not. I don't know. Seemed kind of odd casting to me. The ending was hokey, right? With the bunt and Wesley Snipes ripping around third. Although I do like Lou Brown in the dugout. That's a pretty fucking good idea. No, it wasn't. It's a fucking awful idea. Fucking terrible idea. But, it's Hollywood. But the best part about the movie? Bob Uecker. I mean, come on. You got to love Bob Uecker in that movie. That's all he got is one hit. One goddamn hit. You can't say that. Nobody's listening anyway. Love Bob Uecker in that movie. He did, and most of it was ad-libbed. Ball 4, ball 6, ball 8. Walk the bases. How do they stay off pitches that's so close? Missing by 2 feet outside. Now, Bob Uecker was, again, Major League, one of my favorite baseball movies. Pedro Serrano. Help me now, Joe Boo. I say, fuck you. I do it myself. And he goes up there and jacks a 2-run bomb to left field against the Yankees. That was pretty sweet. It was also David Palmer in 24. And I wish I could remember his name right now. What was his name? He's from around here too. I think he grew up around this area. Yeah. What was his name? I'm not going to look it up. Somebody can look it up and tell me. But I did enjoy him as President David Palmer too. 24 was a great show. So anyway, there you go. We got. I wanted. There you
So
go.
the Tribe drops its third straight on this trip, 6-1 to the Rangers. For the Indians, 1 run on, 1 hit. That's all we got. 1 goddamn hit.
You can't say goddamn on the air.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
That's all we got is one goddamn hit. You can't say that on the air. Nobody's listening anyway. And Bob Euchre's lines are gold, absolute gold in that movie. I love, I love. You got to find me another good Euchre line from that movie. That's just, it's just if that one's on, cable or whatever. Not that I even have cable, but if I'm flipping around and I see it on, I'll watch it. You know, I like Rene Russo too. Rene Russo is pretty hot. And so, yeah, I do. I'm a big fan of Major League. And so, what league did you play in last year? California Penal. Who knew that was like really Charlie Sheen? Like, who knew? Like Charlie Sheen would go on to like kind of be that character, kind of outlaw, out of control, a little bit wild. Oh, I did see the Charlie Sheen special on Netflix. Pretty good. Long. It's a little bit of a grind. It's over 3 hours. You want to get through parts 1 and parts 2, but it was yeah, it was kind of interesting. So me and my buddy watched that while he was here. So I did enjoy that. Enjoyed that quite immensely. And so there you go. It looks like I got to get to the Mets too. Now the Mets, I have no ill will against the Tigers. In fact, I'd like to see the Tigers make the playoffs, just as long as the Astros aren't in the playoffs. And it has nothing to do with the cheating. It's just I'm tired of seeing the Astros on my screen in October. I just want to see somebody else. I always see the Astros. Like, I'm pumped the Mariners went down there and swept their ass. And the Mariners being in the playoffs, that's cool. Mariners are a team that you can kind of get behind. You love the Cal Raleigh story. Rodriguez is a stud. The offense 1 through 7 is pretty damn good after they brought in Naylor and Suarez at the trade deadline. So it's, you know, they're kind of a fun team, young team. I know Brian Wu got hurt. I don't know to what extent, but I'm hoping, you know, he can pitch. I don't even know. He might not even be on the shelf. He might be cool, but being that he's from Alameda, he's just a fun dude to yeah, Todd says. I forgot about that one. You saying Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball? Easy, Serrano. Let's not start a religious war here. Up your butt, Joe Boo. And then what happens? He goes out there and takes a bat to the head. You can't do that. You can't fuck around with Joe Boo. Drink his rum? You gonna drink Joe Boo's rum? You don't do that to Joe Boo. Let's go. Hey, Jake, man. Serrano wanted a whole chicken. We can have a chicken in here, man. If the guys will be puking in the locker room, get him a bucket of KFC. It was good to go. Now, I don't, like I said, I have no ill will to the Tigers. Tigers are falling flat on their faces. They're running into a side of a mountain. Just fireball. Now, the Mets, on the other hand, who are 21 games over 500 right now and find themselves in a fight for their lives, had a come from behind victory against the Cubs last night. The Mets, I would actively enjoy watching them fall on their faces. I would actively enjoy watching Steve Cohen spend $300+ million on a payroll and not make the playoffs. I mean, the Phillies are absolutely just running away with that. I don't think they're going to catch the Brewers for the top spot, but the Mets right now, 5 games over. If you can do basic math, from 21 over to 5 over, that means there's 16 under in that time frame. So the Diamondbacks being in this thing blows my mind. It blows my mind that the Diamondbacks are in the wild card. They're 1 game back of the Mets. How is that possible that the Diamondbacks are in this? Now, the Reds have been in it for a little while and love Terry Francona. I'm pumped for him. Bear down, Wildcat. I would like to see the Reds in. Reds would be a fun team. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz is worth the price of admission anyway. So to be able to watch him out there come playoff time, I would like to see the Mets get in. I don't really have anything other against the Diamondbacks. I mean, they're just kind of blah. Nothing special about them. I mean, the Mets, I guess it'd be Mets Dodgers. That'd be okay. I'll take Dodgers Reds though. That'll take me back to the 70s. Big Red Machine going against Tom Lasorda and the Dodgers. I certainly wouldn't mind that. But yeah, the Mets falling on their faces is just, it's humorous. Absolutely humorous that the Mets have gone from 21 games over to 5 games over. So let's all root for the Mets just to shit themselves over the next 5 games. So there's your playoff outlook right now. And I believe Dave Fleming hopefully will join us next week and do a little playoff preview, a little baseball. We'll do a little Giants accounting as the season's over for the Giants. And then we'll talk about, so you got the Mets and the Dodgers. I mean, the playoffs are going to be awesome. Look at it right now. Mets, Dodgers, Padres, Cubs. We're going to have a Tigers-Indians death match, a Tigers-Guardians death match. I mean, I don't know how much more I could take of that. And then, oh my goodness, Red Sox-Yankees to start it off? Holy smokes. You got to be kidding me. I mean, I doubt it's going to end up that way, but if it does, sign me up. Sign me up for that. The Red Sox have owned the Yankees this year. And can you imagine? Cleveland gets in and the Tigers have to face Cleveland and the Guardians of the home team? Now that would be something, especially after playing so many times at the end of the year. I might get a little testy. Padres Cubs, super cool. I'm all in for all of this. There's not going to be, and just FYI, I do have a little wager on the Brewers to win the World Series, so that's where my allegiance is going to be come playoff time. Got them at 25-1 a couple months ago, so there you go. I will definitely be part of the Brew Crew. Harvey's, wall bangers. Let's go. So yeah, I'm all in. I love the baseball playoffs. All right, let's get to another. And I heard somebody's on there going Niners. Yeah, we'll get you. Okay, you get fucking Niners like every single show pretty much, and everybody else does Niners all the time. I'm like your independent radio, college radio, so to speak, where you not necessarily the hits. You're kind of off-brand a little bit. You could come here for Tool, like many years ago, or Offspring, or maybe a little Rancid. You get a little Rancid, or maybe some Vandals, Authority Zero. You can get that over here. Like, yeah, my radio station ain't playing all the hits all the time. Just so you know. I don't want you. Max goes Offspring. It's the Offspring, actually. Okay, I think, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Yeah, I'm an Offspring guy. I enjoy I enjoy Offspring, although I've never seen them in concert. That's a band I probably should go see before they stop touring. Although they got many years. It's kind of weird when you see punk bands in their like late 50s, isn't it? It just seems kind of weird. Although I did go see Bad Religion. I think I told you guys that was awesome. That was one of my favorite concerts. Bad Religion, and they're getting up there too. There you go, baby. The Offspring. Although keep them separated, you could lose that song. That's like that could be one of my least favorite Offspring songs. So anyway, who's in for the Ryder Cup this week? Anybody in? No, Pretty Fly for a White Guy's another one of the no-goes for me. They just okay. Who is in for the Ryder Cup this weekend? I love the Ryder Cup. I'm such a big fan of the Ryder Cup, and I'm so bummed it happens during football season because you just got to kind of, okay, what do I want to watch? There's college football I want to watch. Obviously, pro football I want to watch. Also, Ryder Cup I want to watch. I guess it's double TV I got to bring out both TVs. Usually the TVs will be main game NFL. Last week it was Eagles Rams, and then red zone, and then Niners Cardinals red zone. This week it'll be main game and then Ryder Cup, because I love the Ryder Cup. All right, go ahead and pop up the teams for those people that don't know the teams. Keegan Bradley and Luke Donald are going to be your captains for the Ryder Cup, and you got Sam Burns, you got Patrick Cantlay, DeChambeau. Harris English, isn't he playing for the wrong team? Why is that dude on our team? Harris English, wrong dude, wrong team, pal. You gotta get over there. But he's been playing pretty good golf too. Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, Russell Henley, Ben Griffin, JJ Spawn. You know the dude from Westworld. How'd the dude from Westworld make the team? I don't know, but that guy can golf. I don't even know who he was. Maybe he had to take time off his shooting schedule, get out there and play a little golf. And then Shoffley, JT, and Cameron Young. Cameron Young came on late. He came on. I didn't recognize Cameron Young. I was like looking at him, trying to figure out who the fuck that was. I was like, oh, because Cameron Young always has a beard. You know why I love Cameron Young? Because on his collar right here, he's always representing me. I mean, it's a sponsor, Major League Baseball. Isn't that the weirdest thing, that Major League Baseball is sponsoring Cameron Young? And they got like a Major League Baseball logo on his collar. Very, very, very odd. So anyway, yeah, I don't need to see the vice captains. And this team is stacked. I don't know how we're favored, by the way. I really don't. Oberg is incredible. Matthew Fitzpatrick, Jesus, better known as Tommy Fleetwood, who just got his first win. I think the best chance for the Americans is to make the next golfer mad. Terrell Hatton. That dude's got a fuse. If that dude gets a bad bounce or a bad break, I mean, that's whoever's his teammate, you got to kind of be part therapist with him, I think, because he's a really good golfer. But man, he smolders out there when things aren't going his way. Hogard, Victor with a K, Hovland, Shane Lowry. If there's one guy out there that I'd like to play 18 with, that's the dude, Shane Lowry. That guy seems like an amazing guy to play around a golf with. Robert McIntyre, the lefty from Ireland, who has played some really good golf lately. And then, of course, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Justin Rose, and Sepp Straka. I mean, that team is loaded. Absolutely loaded. Rose seems like a cool guy to have a beer with, too, by the way. In fact, most of those guys seem like good guys to have beers with. Is it me? I can't be the only one that thinks that. That, like, if you're going to have beers, you'd rather pick a European player than an American player. Like, they just seem like, yeah, let's go to the pub, hang out, have some brews, we're good. Not necessarily the American dudes. Although there might be some guys on the team. But, like, maybe not Hovland. I'm not sure. But, like, Lowry, McIntyre, Rory, Rose, Rahm. They just seem like, yeah, let's go brew. Let's go catch a brewski. Good. Let's go to the pub. Let's go to the pub, watch some football. Oh, he's from Scotland. Okay, so I appreciate it. Thank you for correcting me. He is not from Ireland. McIntyre is from Scotland. Scotland. So, but he is lefty. Tell me I'm right on that. Maybe I'm thinking of a different golfer. Pretty sure that's I'm pretty sure. I mean, I watch a decent amount of golf. May not pay attention to it as closely as I should, obviously, because I said he was from Ireland. He's from Scotland, which doesn't sound like that big a deal. Trust me, that's a big deal. But I'm pretty sure he's a, he's a lefty. So he's a stick. Well, they're all sticks. They're all really good. Here's why I love the Ryder Cup. It puts these guys in a position they're never in, playing team golf. There's only one other time you play team golf on the tour, and that's down in New Orleans at that tournament where Shoffley and Patrick Cantlay always play together. I forget what they call it, the Zurich or something like that. But golf's an individual sport. You worry about yourself. You don't care about anybody else. You screw up, You take the blame. You deal with it. You win a tournament, it's you and your caddy. It's your little team, but it's on you. Now you miss a shot, it affects the team. Now you come up with a miraculous shot, it affects the team. So they don't get to feel that. They don't get to feel that pressure of having the team dynamics. Now, I'm not saying when I played basketball, every shot I took, I thought, oh, if I make this, team's going to be, if I miss this, oh, the team's going to be bumped. No, I mean, you just go out there and play, but there's always a team dynamic to it. This is the 1 week a year that it really matters. Maybe it matters to them for the President's Cup. I give a rat's ass about the President's Cup. If the intensity on this is a 10, the President's Cup's like a 2. It's like a muni, like, hey, let's go have some beers, hang out, play music. It's like you're at the Live, but you're playing the President. The Ryder Cup's intense. This is an intense deal. And there's a lot of pride involved in this, and these dudes want to win. Now, they've split over the last 4 and haven't been particularly close either. It's been blowout city in the last 4 Ryder Cups. Europe won last year. I think that was in Italy, 16.5 to 11.5. We won in 21. I want to say that was Whistling Straits, 19 to 9. They just mopped them up. And then they won, I believe that was in France, 17.5 to 10. And then we won at Hazeltine 17 to 11. So it hasn't been close where you come down to Sunday singles matches, and it's like the last 4 or 5 matches, someone's going to win the Ryder Cup. So the USA will set up the course in their favor, which they should. Europeans do it when it's over in Europe. Like, it's your home course. Like, this is on American soil. Whatever benefits you, that's what you should do. And Bethpage Black is a monster. Long, thick rough. If I remember correctly, elevated greens. Like, that's a tough course. So no link style, no bump and runs, none of that garbage, even though I love that garbage. I'm more of a link style player because then I can keep it on the ground and I could still be okay. So, but I'll be locked into that this weekend as much as I can. I love the pressure these guys face. I love the fact that the gallery gets into it. Hopefully they're at least somewhat respectful of the golfers. I mean, I like some smack talk. I like them getting into it a little bit. I like them giving Rory shit. Just don't go over the line. All right? And keep the cursing to a minimum. Don't get personal. But you can boo, you can cheer. If somebody misses a putt, you can cheer. That's all fair game. That's good. I like Bubba Watson one year on the first day. He's like telling the crowd to get going. He wanted everyone to get going. Again, it's a different environment at the Ryder Cup. So, and the fans in New York are going to be, fans in New York. So it wouldn't surprise me if something happened. It wouldn't surprise me if some of the European players maybe get a little butthurt because of what the New Yorkers might say. But hey, you know what? It's the Ryder Cup. This is a big deal. And after losing, the American fans are going to be amped up and ready to go. That being said, if I were betting on this, I would definitely bet on the Europeans. I just think they got a better team, deeper team. Although I think the home court, being able to set up the course the way you want to set it up, and being that it's an American style course as opposed to a links course, is going to benefit the American team. I'll be curious to see how Griffin does, how Henley does, how some guys do young that haven't faced that pressure before. Because again, it's a different type of pressure when your point or have or whatever it may be affects the whole team. Or alternate shot, your shot affects your partner's shot. I mean, you could have the best player in the world. You could be playing with Scheffler. And if you keep leaving him in shit positions, well, then Scheffler can't go out there and be Scheffler. So the team dynamic and how you set up a team and how guys complement one another, that's important as well. I mean, that's what Keegan Bradley and Luke Donald got to do. Set up their team, who complements one another. And it's not just about who complements one another in terms of playing, who complements one another in terms of temperament. You got to think about that too. Now, once it starts, once you send them on their way, then you ain't doing shit. You're just driving around on a golf course clapping like everybody else is. These guys are pros. Like, they don't need your advice. Okay, here's what I think. No, I got a caddy for that. Oh, yeah, and I beat your ass last week, so just ride your cart and enjoy. But that's what you got to do, because the pairings are critical, and how you set up everything is critical. And so, all right, if you got any comments on that, great. Love to hear them. I'm all about the Ryder Cup. I won't say I'm the biggest golf fan, but I do like watching golf. Like, I watch the FedEx Cup, watch all the majors, Players Championship. I probably watch 10 tournaments a year, but the Ryder Cup, I'm definitely in for. Love. I'll be wearing my USA t-shirt. You kidding me? Let's go. Let's go, US of A. Even though I'd rather have beers with the Europeans, I think. Oh, well, what are you going to do? All right. Niner news. We know Bosa's out. Are they going to get somebody? Can they get somebody? Do they even want somebody? I mean, the way Michael Williams has been playing, he's been getting better and better and better. And then Huff has been playing nail. He's like been nails out there. So you still could use some more depth, right, at the defensive end position. Football is a game of attrition. How many guys can you keep healthy throughout the course of a year? And you lost a big one, maybe one of the biggest ones. I've always put Bosa at the very top of the list, guys that the Niners can ill afford to lose. It's always been Bosa and Williams, 1 and 1A. One guy anchors the offensive line, one guy anchors the defensive line. So now you've lost the guy that anchors the defensive line. Hopefully the youth can prevail. Huff can fill the shoes a little bit. Saleh can fill the shoes a little bit by being creative on defense. I'd love to see him let Fred Warner loose a little bit. Maybe they will. I think he's a great blitzer. I think he gets home most times he blitzes. He's just so smart. He understands timing, gaps, all kinds of stuff. So, it'll be interesting to see how they do against a team this week that's been struggling offensively. The Jaguars have not been a well-oiled machine offensively. So we'll see how that goes. But the question is, would you like to see them go out and get somebody? I mean, Trey Hendrickson is the obvious choice, right? He didn't sign until late. He didn't get the deal he wanted with the Bengals. Didn't get any long-term money. He got a salary increase this year. But I'm sure he would like to go somewhere else. But the Niners aren't going to offer. I can't imagine the Niners offering him anything into the future. This would be a one-year deal. And they're trying to cut. They did cut salary this year. They're trying to go young. They're trying to go draft. They already have enough high-priced guys. I mean, you already have Williams you're paying a boatload of money to. Ayuk, Purdy, he just backed the truck up to. McCaffrey, Kittle, who may not be making the type of money I was talking about with those other players, but positionally, right at the top. Bosa, Warner, Lenore. You get a lot of dudes making a lot of money. So you're not going to sign Hendrickson to a long-term deal, I don't think. You got Bosa. You got Williams. The reason you drafted Williams is you're trying to find an edge that you don't have to pay a ton of money to be opposite of Bosa. And you don't want to have two. Well, you'd love to have two defensive ends that are great. You don't want to have two defensive ends that are making $30 million each. You have to fill out a roster. You need a roster to win football. That is clear because of all the injuries you get. You need depth. So is there somebody else out there that is cheaper, that is a depth piece, that can still come in and play? I don't know. Eddie says Phillips. Oh, is that the guy from Miami? I don't know if that's the guy from Miami or not. I think it might be. The problem is nobody wants to get rid of their cheap players, right? If someone isn't making, it says, yeah, okay, so it might be him. I don't know how good he's been playing, how well he's been playing down there. I don't. I know he was highly sought after coming into the NFL out of Miami. I just don't. I'd be lying to you if I said, oh, this guy's been great. This guy's been that. I have no idea what like if I'm the Dolphins and I keep losing, I'm trying to get rid of all my high price guys, not my young guys. Young guys I want to keep. High price guys I want to get rid of. So I don't know. I don't see a high price guy coming in. And I specifically don't see a high price guy coming in that they'll keep the salary into next year. You could use him for, like, Hendrickson's the guy. Okay, yeah, that it is. Okay, Jalen Phillips, yeah, was injured last year, only played in 6 games. That is the guy from Miami. So, but Hendrickson would be perfect fit if he didn't have to give up too much. Plug him in for this year. You got some depth. You got a guy, I think, that's led the league in sacks 2 years in a row. Or at least one, I know. I think 2 off the top of my head. And then, you go out and get a deal next year. That would be ideal. But I don't think you want somebody that's like 2 year. You get it own for 2 years. You own $40 million. I don't think they want that. Again, so far so good with this draft class. You never know. Don't judge it after 3 games. Don't say, oh, the draft class is going to make, because you don't know. 6 games in, you may have a different take. 12 games in, you may think completely different than you did after 3 games. So, yeah, I don't want another Chase Young either. And so, Phillips in the last year was rookie contract. Okay, it's an unrestricted free agent next year. Like that would be a guy then. That would be a guy. But again, I don't know how he's been playing. I don't know. Go check your PFF account. See how they created him out. I don't follow the Dolphins all that much. And I specifically don't follow the Dolphins defense all that much. And so I do not know. But they look pretty good last week. I don't know if they can hold up, but if Williams keeps getting better and Huff does his thing, like Huff's pretty damn good. Like, especially getting to the quarterback. That guy is lightning around the edge. So I think they're in pretty good shape. Like, starting, you start losing, you lose Bosa. Again, now your depth. I always look at it like this. It's like a bullpen. You lose, speaking of bullpens, remember when the Giants had Walker and Duvall and you thought, oh, we're set. Anyway, put that off to the side for a minute. I always look at it like a bullpen. So Bosa is your closer. He's your closer. He's the guy you give the ball to. He's the guy you want to have the ball in the critical situations. You lose him, now the 8th inning guy has to be the 9th inning guy. Everybody has to move back. And now the responsibilities get a little bit bigger. Some guys can handle those responsibilities. Some guys can't. And then if another guy gets hurt, then by the end of the year, you're asking a guy who was a 7th inning pitcher, a little lower stress, a little more margin for error. Maybe they're in the 9th inning by then. And they're not built for it. They can't handle it. So, it's great that they have 2 guys right now that it looks like are capable of fortifying the defensive line. But behind them, now what happens? And then the guy, so it is. It's all about that depth. And it's not all about the base, all about the depth. And they need the depth. We'll see. Now, luckily, the schedule isn't filled with offensive juggernauts this year. It's not like they have a murderer's row of offensive teams coming in who can light you up for 30 points on any given Sunday. That's just not the case. So we'll see how they play this week against the Jags. Purdy may be coming back this week. That would be a good sign. I had somebody suggest Trey Hendrickson for Mac Jones, and I was like, Kind of like having Mac Jones as a backup. I mean, Trey Hendrick, if I knew Purdy's going to be healthy all year, see ya. Thanks for the 2 games. Appreciate it. You're off to Cincinnati. But, I mean, on the face of it, right, a backup quarterback for a premium defensive end, no-brainer. But, your quarterback already got hurt this year, and Mac Jones had to come in once. What if he has to come in again? So, and Kyle likes Mac Jones, trusts Mac Jones. So I couldn't imagine that would happen. So if it's not a player, draft capital, I mean, I got to think Cincinnati after last week was like, maybe the whole Jake Browning thing was a mirage last year. And look, it was different last year for Jake Browning. Because by the time he took over, the season was over. Not as much pressure. There just isn't. Backup quarterback, nobody expects anything from you. And I'm not going to say there was no pressure. There's always pressure every time you go out on the court, the diamond, the field. You're playing pro sports, there's pressure attached to it. But there's less pressure attached to it when you go in and you feel like the season's kind of over. And he helped them get back into it, to be honest. He actually won some games last year. But now it's the beginning of the year. And they're off to a pretty good start. And you're thinking, okay, we've still got a chance. Let's go. Now there's tape on you. There are expectations. And there is that pressure to win because it's so early in the season. And they're not out of anything. Did not go well. Did not go well at all in Minnesota. And so I could see where they would want a quarterback. They could be looking for a quarterback. Maybe draft picks would do it. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't imagine they'd be looking to sell right now anyway. The season's so young. Everyone is still going to feel like they have a chance. Like they have a chance at this thing. So, even the Giants who look terrible, they're like, hey, the season's not over. It would be if Russell Wilson keeps playing. So let's go ahead and get Jackson Dart in there and see what he's got. Because nobody wants to watch Russell Wilson play football anymore. Nobody. Did that dude hit a wall faster than just about any quarterback who had a legit resume? Like, he went from like, hey, he's really good in Seattle to like, he's not good in Denver. And now he's like just god awful in New York. Like the Cowboys secondary, that must be the worst secondary in football. How do you give up 350 yards to the Giants passing attack when Russell Wilson's leading it? Like, how is that even possible? Like, if they're that bad, Green Bay is going to put up 42 this week. I mean, Green Bay should shred that secondary this week. But Russell Wilson was crap, outstanding, and then crap. And Brian Daboll said, yeah, I can't even watch this anymore. I can't watch it. It's tough to watch. Tough to watch. I can't watch it. And so, anywho, I know we're only 3 games in, but just kind of, I like to do this. Just quick thoughts on the NFL and each team. Like Bills right now, to me, best team in football. Best team in football. Allen's the best quarterback in football right now. He's been outstanding. Patriots, hold on to the fucking ball. I mean, just try. The game's a lot easier when you keep the ball. Value the possession. 5 points of pressure. Right there, 5 points of pressure. Drake May, you can't fuck around with the ball in the pocket. You can't just be jumping around and oh, shit, it's loose again. They fumbled once in the end zone. Ramondre Stevenson. Thank you. I had Pittsburgh. Never should have won that game. That was about as lucky as it gets. Not as lucky as my Oklahoma win, but right there. And then Drake May threw a pick in the end zone. Like 2 turnovers in the end zone. Not going to get it done. Jets. Who cares? Dolphins. Who cares? Like I said, Bengals are 2-1. So they're not giving. They're not going to say, "Oh, here, take Hendrickson. We're done." They're 2-1. Pittsburgh's 2-1. Pittsburgh, they may be the most fraudulent 2-1 team in the league. That I don't know how Tomlin does it. Everybody says Tomlin's not a great coach. Tomlin just wins. That's all he does. You give him shit, and he makes lemonade. I don't even know how you make lemonade out of shit, but he does sometimes. And it's not like the defense. Usually the defense is great. Defense hasn't been great this year. Again, they just find ways to win. Teams just give the ball to the Steelers. Like last week, Patriots, here, take it. You're the Steelers. You want another? Sure, we're the Steelers. Take it. How about one more? Is 3 enough? No? Okay, here's 4 and 5. Deal, that's all we're giving you. We're the Patriots. We don't give more than 5. So, yeah, Ravens. I mean, look, I know they were missing Van Noy and Matabike last week, so maybe that makes a huge difference. But, boy, their run defense got gashed. They're 1-2 and going into Kansas City. Talk about two desperate teams. Both are 1-2. Chiefs and underdog at home. That used to be a lock bet. Just take the Chiefs as underdogs at home. But, you know, the Ravens offense is still great. Derrick Henry's fumbled in 3 straight games now and in critical situations in 2 of them. I mean, Buffalo, critical. No way Buffalo comes back if he doesn't fumble there. No way the Lions win that game. I don't think. Maybe they do. That was still a close game. But a critical fumble. Then it looked like Derrick Henry almost hurt himself, slammed his helmet on the sideline. Slammed his helmet, slipped down. I was like, It's like, bro, what are you doing? That wasn't very graceful. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, when you're losing, when you miss Van Noy and Matabike, that is a big deal. Browns, defense incredible. Defense awesome. Flacco is going to crumble. Like I'm telling you. He's going to be like the Saddam Hussein statue when they yank it down. You're just going to see him one game go, and it's going to be like dust. And Flacco is going to disappear. You go, where'd he go? And he's going to be like dust in the air. Dude's fucking ancient. Maybe the best story of the season, feel-good story, Colts. Daniel Jones locker, getting it done. Points for 103, points against 56 or plus 47 in 3 games. I mean, they probably should have lost against the Broncos, but they didn't. They played 2 really shitty teams in the Dolphins and the Titans, but who cares? They can't control their schedule. But the fact they're 3-0, that's impressive. Jaguars 2-1. Defense been solid this year. I give it up for the defense. They've only given up 51 points in 3 games. So that's 17 points a game. Solid. Offense, not so solid. They got to figure this thing out. Like, I'm not saying you're moving on from Trevor Lawrence. He's better than we're just going to move it on. But Trevor Lawrence has got to be better than 55% completions. 55% is garbage. In baseball, that'd be like a 5.2 ERA. Everyone hits 65% nowadays. Now they don't. Ogden, get your fucking Jaguar propaganda off the screen. I don't want to see it. Lawrence has a 70 quarterback rating and 4 TDs and 4 picks. I mean, he's butt so far this year. He's got to be better. If they're going to continue, he's got to be better. Ogden trying to tell me they look great. The offense is great. And they played the Bengals. So anyway, Jaguars 2-1. Texans 0-3. What happened? I'm not doing the rushing stats. Get out of here. This guy's like works for the City of Commerce in Jacksonville. Houston Tech. See what happened to CJ Stroud? Why does this guy stink now? What happened to him? I'll tell you what happened to him. You wait more than a year before you declare a guy's great. or he's really good, or he's a future star, or he's a future Pro Bowler. Don't know. Don't know what happened to him. They don't really have a running game either. Chubb ain't it. It just so their defense, okay, Titans, moving on. Titans, Chargers, another candidate for best team in football. Herbert's gonna have to prove it in the playoffs. I don't care what Herbert does this year. I don't care how many yards Herbert throws for. I don't care how many touchdowns he throws for. I don't care what their record is. Let me see you get it done in the playoffs. That's where Herbert makes his next step in the playoffs. So they lose Najee Harris to an Achilles injury. Amari and Hampton's going to take over at running back, rookie running back. And it doesn't appear, right? It doesn't appear that they have like the greatest wide receivers. McConkey, I love. Allen's ancient, but he can still get it done. But I tell you what, Quentin Johnston, he's been a revelation this year. Like, he was a guy that was like, you're close to using the B word on that dude. And he's giving him a legit 3 guys now. You got McConkey, the guy that catches everything. I call him the Great Kazoo because he has the big helmet. It's like helmet's like way too big for him. And then you have Allen, who is the kind of sage veteran, route runner, hands, just knows how to get things done. By the way, isn't that still the strangest thing that he went to Cal? I think he's from like North Carolina, and Alabama recruited him. He was a 5-star, and he went to Cal? Cal? NIL before NIL? Who knows? I just thought it was a weird deal. Look, I think Harbaugh's a fantastic coach. The defense, everybody knows about Derwin James. Guy's a flat-out stud, but they just get it done defensively. Raiders 1-2. Dude, is Ashton Genty going to get it going at all? Can they block for him? Like, open up a little hole for just a little hole. Just give the man a little hole, okay? I think I'd rather have the Boise offensive line right now than the Raiders offensive line. Like, this guy gets hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any running back I've seen so far. Like, I don't know what his yards after contact are, but he's got to gain 1.3 yards after contact just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Give the man a chance. Help him help you. Please. We want to see Ashton Genty be Ashton Genty, and we can't because you guys can't block for him. Denver Broncos. Look, Broncos are going to be fine. They play defense. I still like Bo Nix. I like Sean Payton a lot. Dobbins has been really good for him this year. They get to the quarterback. They can cover. They got the best corner in the game in Surtain. And look, if it wasn't for an incredible throw by Justin Herbert, one of the best throws I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor. Go to YouTube. And I don't even know if we have it here. We might be able to have it. Where he rolls left and just torques his body. And I can't even remember who he hit in the end zone. I can't even remember who it was. It was just a stunning throw. Like, you'll see great throws, and every once in a while you'll see something extra on the field. And you're like, holy shit, look at that throw. That was one of those throws. Oh, it was just an incredible throw. Chiefs, let's wait till they get Worthy back, wait till they get Rice back, see if it's not too late. Pacheco hasn't been great, and the defense kind of hanging in there for him, just hanging in there. But Pacheco and Hunt, like, they might have to just start airing it out. Kelsey's obviously slowed. He's not the same guy anymore. And right now it's Hollywood Brown, and Thornton looks like he might be a player. Thornton's made some really nice catches over the last couple weeks, but let's wait and see when they get Rice back and get Worthy back. They'll probably start clicking in a little bit. Eagles. Hey, what do you say about the Eagles? They run the ball. Then when they needed to throw the ball, they throw the ball. They need to make a play. They make a play. Hey, they're Super Bowl champs for a reason. I mean, Eagles just one of those teams that are super talented. Although I saw Nolan Smith is dinged up, and he might go on IR for a little bit. I forget what it was, but anyway. Commanders, let's see when they get Daniels back. McLaurin looks like he may be hurt. I don't know. I just wasn't high on the Commanders this year. Cowboys defense, trouble. Offense, good. I think Prescott went from overrated to underrated. Now everybody's thinking, oh God, oh, wait a minute, he's actually pretty good. Although CeeDee Lamb's now going to miss a few weeks with a high ankle sprain. So deal with that. Here comes the Pickens party. Let's go. Giants, please. Packers lose the Browns. That was a blip. They're still a really, really good team. Although I'm not so sure about Love. I don't know if he's the guy. Vikings, O'Connell. I love O'Connell. Flores does a great job with that defense. Jones is hurt. Mason's in. Addison should be coming back soon, I would think. And with Addison and Justin Jefferson, Naylor, although Hawkinson hasn't looked great this year, Naylor nearly killed her. I think, I just trust O'Connell and get it done. Lions looked incredible last night. Absolutely incredible. Best 1-2 punch in the league at running back. And Goff gets time. He's hard to stop. Bears, they look great. They played the Cowboys. Let's wait till this week and see how they play. Buccaneers, you know how I feel. I love Baker. Baker's been incredible. Bucky Ball, big fan of Bucky Ball. Evans goes down with a hammy. I think Godwin has a chance to come back this week. I like that team. I like their grit. I like their defense. Ibuka is some of those catches Ibuka made last week. That dude's a stud. Like, who has better wide receivers over the last 15 years? LSU or Ohio State? Go. I don't know. I think LSU probably has the top end receivers. I mean, can you beat Chase, Jefferson, Neighbors, Thomas Jr.? I'll still include him in here, even though he's been sucking this year. Let's go. And Beckham. I mean, that's tough to top that. That's really tough to top that. I mean, and then you go back and you look at all the Ohio State wide receivers. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Olave. You got, I don't know. You going to include Harrison Jr.? Jackson Smith and Jigba. Ibuka. I mean, those dudes, it's amazing how many receivers Ohio State has as well. But boy, for top end receivers, I think LSU probably has it. Panthers, I mean, Falcons, what are you doing? You can't stop being the Falcons, can you? Well, you're next, but Panthers, I will see. Just when I thought I could trust Bryce Young again, it doesn't feel like I can trust Bryce Young again. I thought the last 6 games last year, I was like, hey, you can trust Bryce Young. Maybe you can't trust Bryce Young. Next, Falcons. I mean, can this team stop being the Falcons? You know they're going to win this week. They'll be the Commanders because they're the Falcons. Whatever you think the Falcons are going to do, whatever you think the Falcons are, they're the opposite of what you think they are. Oh, man, did you see them going to Minnesota? What a nice win. They can kind of keep this going. Roll into Carolina, get this one. Smash, 30-0. Didn't even put up a point. A goose egg. A goose egg against the Panthers. Falcons are one of those teams. You got to prove it. I can't take it on the thumb like this. Oh, they're going to be good? Okay. No, show me. Saints, whatever. Niners, another one of the, I think, a pretty good story in the NFL this year, just because of all the injuries. Not because they're 3-0. We could have made the case they were 3-0 before the year started. But with all the injuries that they've had to deal with, you haven't had your quarterback for 2 games. You haven't had your tight end for 2.5 games. Now you're missing your defensive end. We all knew your wide receiver was going to be out. Wide receiver you went out and got. Robinson was going to miss the first 3 games. So it's just been Mustafa, I don't know when he's coming back. I think halfway through the season, when he was starting safeties. So, although I do like Siegel. I like him a lot. It's amazing to me the Niners have been able to figure out a way to get these wins. We've used the word gritty a lot with the Niners because that's what they are right now. They're just finding ways to win. Rams, oh, man, you're so close to going 3-0. Thought they had that game against the Eagles. And Couldn't guard A.J. Brown, couldn't get off a kick. That's about what it came down to. I mean, A.J. Brown just he big boyed the cornerbacks of the Rams. Just big boyed them. It was like varsity versus freshman football. Ball was in the air. Here comes a DB, and Brown just said, fucking get away from me. Shut up. Get down. You run through dudes and get another 7 yards, which got you to thinking, hey, why don't you guys throw it to that guy more? He's pretty good. Maybe you might want to throw it to him occasionally. Don't wait until you get down 3 scores to throw it to A.J. Brown. You can do other things and hand it off to Saquon Barkley and have Jalen Hurts run the football. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who knows with Sirianni? But the Rams 2-1. Cardinals 2-1 too, and they could very easily be 3-0 because they could have, very easily beaten the 49ers. Now, they really haven't played anybody. They had the Panthers at home, a game that they didn't cover. How? I have no idea. And they played the Saints like the Niners did down in New Orleans and won that one. So they're 2-1. I don't need to spend a lot of time on the Cardinals because you know how I feel. Kyler Murray, quarterback, don't trust. That's a no-fly zone for me. Always will be. Like the Falcons, prove it. Got to prove it. I just don't trust it. We're still going to get everybody the information when Call of Duty comes out so we can all bet against the Cardinals that week and see what happens. And Seahawks are 2-1. So this may be what did I say yesterday? NFC West, AFC West, NFC North in the running for best divisions in football. So Seahawks are a good team. Saints can't wait to get out of the NFC West, although it's not going to help them. There's no reprieve in the NFL for the Saints this year, but they are 0-3 against the NFC West and just got bludgeoned last week. But Darnold's been really, really good. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a stud, and that defense has been solid. So, yeah, there you go. But as far as the biggest, you can't really have. I'll wait till next week to do biggest disappointments, biggest surprises, because I don't even know if there would be a biggest disappointment right now. Ravens being 1-2, but again, you're 1-2. You lost to the Lions and the Bills. I guess the biggest surprise would be the Colts. Would be the biggest surprise. And so, all right, let's take some comments. We'll get on out of here. Still raining? A little bit. Not bad. No, I'm not getting the sound, though, which kind of sucks. Although I do have the fountain. So I got water going one way or the other. Do I have any good Jim Rome stories? All right, that was the first time I called Jim's show. I was playing for the Clippers, and I called Jim's show. And Jim and I weren't friends at the time. He didn't know who I was. Well, he knew who I was, but he didn't know me. So I called up and told the producer this is Tom Tolbert, wanted to talk to Jim, wanted to talk a little college football, talk a little bit about what was going on in the NBA. And they go, okay. So they come back, and I guess so people don't dupe them, they want to screen you. They'll ask me questions that only Tom Tolbert would know. So they asked me a question, I answered it. Asked me another question, I answered it. And finally, I just said to the call screener, I said, who the fuck's going to call up and pretend to be Tom Tolbert? Who's going to call up and pretend to be me? Wouldn't you choose somebody else? Somebody more prominent? Who's going to call up and go, yeah, I'm Tom Tolbert? And so he laughed, and then Jim laughed and put me on the air. So, yes, that story is absolutely true. That was the first time I called. And then I called him. I was on his show all the time when I played for the Clippers. So much so that the Clippers asked if I would stop calling his show because I wasn't always kind to the Clippers, which was interesting since I played for the Clippers. but I didn't care. I wasn't playing. I told him one time, I said, what are you going to do? Play me negative minutes? I was like the Joker. You got nothing to threaten me with. They didn't. They had nothing to threaten me with. Deep dive Donald Sterling question to verify. Yeah, exactly. Trust me. I didn't want to be around Donald Sterling. I didn't have a lot of Donald Sterling knowledge. Yeah, I would dive in the closet to stay away from talking to Donald Sterling. So, what is going on with this collar? It looks like that's just a bad look. Almost like a V-neck. That's just so. Ugh. I got to work on this collar. Maybe this shirt's toast. No, not one of my favorite Offspring songs. I probably have 15 Offspring songs on my phone. It is turning into the old AC/DC shirt. This one doesn't have as many holes, but it's working on it. Let's see. I'm going to tell you right now if I have artist. Loving the show. No, do I think Kaminga is going to sign before camp starts? You know what? I just read today. I think Kawakami had it. Like there's a thing that if he doesn't sign the qualifying offer by October 2nd, that they'll still retain his restricted free agent rights and they can sign him to whatever they want to. So unless they have a deal put in place, he'll sign by that time. He doesn't want to be a restricted free agent again. He wants to be an unrestricted free agent. So, but I don't know. I have no idea if he's going to sign or not. And I did see the name. Thank you. Let's just wait till Kaminga does something before we talk about Kaminga. I feel like it's Encanto. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Kaminga. We don't talk about Kaminga. Offspring. Who the fuck is the Offspring? Oh, it's the Offspring. I always forget that. I look under O and you got the T, you got the. Can't you just be Offspring? I got 14 Offspring songs and not one Pretty Fly for a White Guy and no Come Out and Play. Sorry. Jennifer Lost the War, No Hero, Kick Him When He's Down, Self-Esteem. It'll be a long time, Bad Habit, All I Want, Kids Aren't All Right, Damn It, I Changed Again, Million Miles Away, Why Don't You Get a Job? You're going to go far, kid. Let the bad times roll. There you go. Why don't I listen to you again? Somebody already drafted him. Somebody already had Quinshon Judkins. So don't say I didn't listen to you. I'm not listening to you anyway, but I didn't have any choice. They drafted Quinshon Judkins, so I couldn't get him. What are you going to do? But you know what starts this week? It's the Scataboo era. That's right. My team's about ready to take off. Let's go, Scataboo. And I know what many of you are thinking, like, come on, Tom. You're a wildcat. You can't do it. I can do the forks down. Screw issue. But I'll make an exception because I'll be the one benefiting. But, dude, I need the dude to be a cult hero in New York. He's like on his way. 5'7", 240. Neck like Lou Ferrigno. Like, it just feed him. Feed Scataboo. I need the Scataboo era to start. I need it to propel me. My running backs are awful. Awful. I got Travion Henderson, who got 11 touches last week for the Patriots. Hopefully he'll be good. Ramondre Stevenson fumbled at the goal line. So I'm kind of hoping Vrabel's not going to dig that. And I think the other running back fumbled too. So let's go. Get Henderson in there. I got Pollard, who for some reason doesn't catch the ball anymore. I don't know why. He doesn't. So, and then who else did I have? I forget. My running backs are tragic, though. My receivers were supposed to be strong. Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Garrett Wilson. They've been good, but I need BTJ to pick it up a little bit. What's for dinner tonight? I don't know. That's a great question. I haven't made chicken marsala in a while. That could be a strong candidate. Could be a lasagna day too. I haven't done lasagna in a long time. That sounds pretty good. Or I could go shepherd's pie. That's easy. Kind of comfort foodish. Although it's not cold. So I like it. I like that better when it's cold. So that's a great question. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. I went to a place called Scolari's last night. They have incredible cheeseburgers, by the way. Scolari's is the best cheeseburgers in Alameda. Nations are right there, but I think I like Scolari's better. Scolari's has specials. They usually keep them for a few weeks at a time. They had a Mexican Cubano sandwich, like a Mexibano, or forgetting exactly how they worded it. But instead of like pork and ham, which is still pork, they had the Swiss cheese, they had the pickles, but they had like a tomatina or tomatillo aioli, and they had beef, and outstanding. That thing was outstanding. Scolari's has got it's good stuff. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. It's getting close to chili time. Another month or so, I'll make some chili. That's a good question. I don't know. Damn it! Now you got me thinking. So, who's more annoying, Lane Kiffin or Brian Kelly? I think Brian Kelly's more annoying. Lane Kiffin's kind of funny sometimes. I think doesn't his special start tonight? I think he has some sort of special on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. Like it's a Lane Kiffin documentary or special or whatever. And I thought about that. Like, why does Lane Kiffin always get so much pub? He hasn't really done anything. Nah, I'm not going chili dogs. Sorry. If I'm going to go chili dogs, I'll go Wiener Schnitzel. I don't know why their chili dogs are good. They just are. It's like the Polish sandwich. I don't know why they're good. They just are. There are just certain things that you don't know why they're good. Jack in the Box tacos, monster tacos, those things are outstanding. It's not even a taco. I don't even know what kind of meat's in there. I've said it for years. Could be rat for all I know. I don't know. Could be kangaroo meat. It's good though. I have monster tacos. The only misgivings I have about monster tacos is they're only October. So we're about a week or two away from monster taco season. Everybody thinks this is pumpkin latte season. It's not. It's monster taco season. So when the monster tacos come out, if you're at a Jack in the Box, you very well could see me. Yes, sadly, the Wiener Schnitzel in Alameda closed down, taken over by a Noodle House. Shocker. They have a Noodle House in Alameda. Who knew we needed another one of those? But yeah, I know the chili dogs. I don't even know what they made their chili out of. And I'm old enough to remember when Wiener Schnitzel was Der Wiener Schnitzel. And it wasn't Der, it was Der Wiener Schnitzel. And they dropped the Der. I don't know how many hours and how much money they paid a consultant to come up with that. I don't know. What you guys really need to do is drop the Der. That's a good idea. I'd have said, I can beat it. We're keeping the Der, dummy. But yeah, they just went Wiener Schnitzel. But the chili dogs there, I could eat 6 of those. Those were, I love those. I don't know what the cheese was. I don't know what the meat was. I think I know what the hot dog was, but starting a mini card collection of yours. Do you collect any? I don't collect any stuff. I have stuff, but I don't collect stuff. I think I have a Tim Duncan jersey somewhere. I don't know why. I have 2 jerseys, and they're the most random jerseys. I have a Tim Duncan autographed jersey and an Agent Zero Gilbert Arenas autographed jersey. Like, and I think he has one of mine. I think we exchanged jerseys one time. Like, I got him a jersey and signed it. I mean, obviously, we both went to Arizona. That's why we did it. But it's a Wizards jersey. I was rummaging through some stuff and found it. I go, what is this? Why do I have a Wizards jersey? And then it was Arenas, Zero. Gil signed it. So I have a autographed pair of Shaq shoes. Steve Young autographed helmet. I think I have a Nolan Ryan autographed baseball. What else do I have in there? I don't know. Oh, you know what I have? Like, sometimes I'm such a dumbass. I have a Dream Team ball. No Magic, no Leitner. Couldn't get those guys, but everybody else. Jordan, Malone, Robinson, Ewing, Pippen, Mully, Bird, Stockton. Like, I mean, all the guys. Dream Team ball. Yeah, I got a Bill Martin coat. The pecs. Outstanding. I didn't even look up. I didn't even know. That's pretty nice. You can see the fountain. Although the fountain's kind of messed up. It's kind of falling apart, but it still makes the noise. I left the ball out. Not outside, but I might as well have. All the autographs have faded. How many people do you think have a Dream Team ball that now it's like you might as well just fucking throw it away? I think my parents have a ball, Michael Jordan autographed basketball in a case. And the only reason they have it is because I just left it there. But I think that autograph is still pretty legible on that ball. So I have a Jordan ball. I have a ball that all my buddies signed. No, I don't have a Ratto sweater signed. I don't have a Ratto sweater. It was all my buddies in the NBA that I had signed it. I had Steve Kerr sign it, Jud Bushler sign it, Mully signed it, Rod Higgins signed it. Although Mully was like, I was like, he might be too good for this ball. Like Craig Elo signed it. Sean Elliott signed it. Like 15, 20 guys. Just all guys that I love to talk to when I was out on the court and BS with and you know, not stars though. I was like, I don't taint the ball. I don't want to have non-stars tainting a non-star ball. And so, but I didn't really collect a lot of stuff. Looking back on it, I probably should have. I could have a pretty impressive collection of jerseys and balls. Because back then, you could ask Jordan to sign something for you. It's like no big deal. Bird, sign it for you. Like everybody would do that in the NBA. You know, it was like a fraternity. Like send something over to the locker room, ball boy, take it over, and just sign it for you and bring it back. No big deal. So that was pretty cool. But I just didn't ask for a lot of stuff because I really didn't care. And so, all right, a couple comments. We'll get out of here. Although I am going to stay on the air. Okay, good. We went from 666 watching to 670. I will not get off the air when it's 666. Just not going to do. I don't believe in that stuff, but why risk it? Why get off when it says 666 on it? I'm not pulling the Damian Elman too. Alabama, Georgia, Penn State, Oregon. What's the bigger game? Woo. Man. I'm going to go just by a smidge. They're both massive games, right? Alabama can get right back in this after getting beat by Florida State to start the season. That was a bad look, right? But what if Florida State's really good this year? Like, I think Florida State pays Miami at some point this year. What if they beat Miami? What if they beating Clemson, obviously not a big deal anymore. It doesn't seem to be a huge deal anyway. But what if Florida State's really good? That's not going to look that bad for Bama if that's their only loss. Or let's say they lose to Florida State and one other team. But if they can beat Georgia in Georgia, I mean, boom, right back in the conversation, right back in it. If they lose it, now they have no more margin for error. That's it. They've got Florida State. They're not lose another one. You're toast. So Penn State, Oregon, I think these are one of 3 teams, maybe 4. I mean, let's see what Indiana does. Indiana I can't. I don't even know what the word is. What they did to Illinois. Dump trucked them, outhoused them. Like, I don't know. They killed Illinois. So Indiana may be better than they were last year. Mendoza's been fantastic at quarterback. Signetti can coach. He can flat out coach. So, but these are 2 of the top teams in the Big Ten, right? Penn State and Oregon. So that's why I'm going to go Penn State. Oregon is a bigger game because both of them are undefeated. And I think win or lose, although, you know what, now that I'm talking myself into it, win or lose, Oregon, Penn State, both are going to still be in contention to make the playoffs. I guess for what team is this the biggest game? Probably Alabama. This game's probably bigger for Alabama than it is for Georgia, Penn State, Oregon, because those 3 teams still have some margin for error, where Alabama's not going to have any margin for error if they lose this one. So maybe for Alabama, it'll be a smidge bigger than the rest, or significantly bigger than the rest. But I don't know. I just feel like Penn State, Oregon feels bigger. It just feels a little bit bigger. And isn't that kind of a switch? You would never say a Big Ten game was bigger than an SEC game. The biggest SEC game of the weekend has been the biggest game of the weekend for a decade. It was the SEC. It was the best conference. They had the best teams. When they had the best matchup, it was the best matchup in the nation. Not the case anymore. Not the case at all. The Big Ten is at minimum, the SEC's equal, if not better, than the SEC now. They may be better, but they're definitely equal with them. I mean, you look at the top tier of the Big Ten, and absolutely it is even with the SEC. But both those games are going to be awesome. The only thing that sucks, both 4:30 games. That kind of sucks. Not digging that they're on at the same time. So, do I think Ogden could hit a Randy Johnson fastball? Which Ogden are you talking about? Of course he couldn't. None of us could. If we could see it, we'd be lucky. There's no chance. I've heard that question asked before. Do you think how many out of 100 at bats, how many hits do you think a person would get against Shohei Ohtani or Jacob deGrom, or, pick your favorite pitcher. And I say absolutely 0. You wouldn't even get your bat off the shoulder. You would not get the bat. There's no way. Your brain would not recognize the ball where it is in time for you to swing the bat. By the time you swung the bat, the catcher would be throwing it back to the pitcher. That's how late you would be. Like, you have no idea what a 98-mile-an-hour fastball looks like. None. I've seen it up close. It's like frightening. And then trying to hit it, forget it. Randy flaming the bird. Yeah, I guess. I wasn't a huge fan of the video. I kind of felt bad for the bird, but, if you're going to die famously and die instantly. That bird had no idea. Lose 10. Lou 10, Pip 8, Kid 8. Well, because they're sisters. And the bunny 1.5 years. So we think. We're not exactly sure how old the bunny is. She was floating around here. When's Steve Kerr coming on? Well, interesting you asked that. Steve's going to be joining me a couple times a month during the season. So every other week, we're going to have the Steve Kerr Show. So I thought you guys would enjoy that. I know I'm going to enjoy it. And Steve graciously accepted. He said, absolutely, let's do it. So I didn't want to do weekly. I mean, I did, but I don't want to. I want, he's got enough shit going on trying to coach a basketball team. So I think Steve's coming on with us throughout the course of the basketball season. So every other week, it's going to be pretty sweet. Like, I'm pumped. Brent Jones Monday, Steve, hopefully Wednesday, but we'll work around their schedule, whatever he can do. And then Friday we'll do handicapping throughout the football season and do some other stuff. And then I'll figure out times. And then of course we're going to do the Sunday shows. The only Sunday shows I won't do is if the Warriors have a game. Then we won't be able to do a Sunday show. Unless it's a 10 o'clock game, then maybe Berg and I'll get out here and do something. But how many? Steve doesn't drink a ton of beers. He's not a beer aficionado like myself. Steve likes his Modelo's. I'm not a Modelo guy. They're okay. They're like kind of whatever. But I'm not. Modelo's just kind of whatever. But to each their own. Steve's palate's more Modelo Trumer. Now I do like Trumer. Trumer's a good beer. But the Mexican lagers, they're just I mean, if I want my favorite Mexican lager, it's a beer called Torcido, and it's a Mexican lager made by Bear Bottle. So, and I do like that one. Now that one's really good. So if I want a Mexican lager, I'll wait till Torcido comes out, and I'll give my guy Lester a call and see if he can deliver me some Torcidos. But I actually need to get some Bear Bottles. I haven't had Bear Bottles in a while. I ran out somehow. I don't want to call these guys all the time. And it's so gracious. I don't feel like, hey, yo, get some more beer. And unfortunately for me, a beer bottle. We still need to do a show over there. We need to set that up, Ogden, at some point. And I think we're going to do a show with Cam. We're going to get that one done with Cam, too, out in Dublin or whatever. Maybe we'll go out there one day, do a show. If we can get some 49ers scribes to go out there with us, have some beers, and talk some football. So I enjoyed doing it at Field Work. And hopefully we can do some more at Field Work. So, but we'll do some shows on the road. We'll get back on the road at some point. So, all right, everybody, I'm done. Thanks for participating. Oh, I always appreciate it. No more rain. Sucks. Sound's gone. Humidity's here. We'll be back Friday with Dennis and the good doctor, talking some college football and some pro football. And then next week, like I said, we're going to try to get Dave Fleming on to try. I want to break down the playoffs. I want to break down the Major League playoffs. So hopefully you guys are into if you're not into the playoffs, then you're just not a baseball fan at all. You're not a sports fan. There's two different types of fans. There's sports fans and there's football fans. Football fans don't give a shit what's going on in other sports. They care about their team. They care about football. They care about their fantasy team. They care about the offseason, who we're going to draft, who we trading for, free agency, draft, when's camp coming up, season's here, and just keep rotating around. That's not me. I love football, but I'm a sports fan. And this to me is it the best sports month of the year or the second best? Maybe I'll get into this on Friday. I'll let you guys weigh in. Because we got football, college and pro, start of hockey season. baseball playoffs. And toward the end of October, you get sort of basketball season. So at one point, I know they call it the sports equinox. In October, there's a good chance and you get the Ryder Cup in this month. Not October, but late September leading into late October, early November, about a 5-week period. You very well could have a day where there's a baseball game, football game, basketball game, hockey game. Awesome. Like, I love it. There's not a day that goes by without a game on, especially when the baseball playoffs start. If you're a sports fan, see, if you're a football fan, you're waiting. It's like Monday Night Football. Shit, got to wait till Thursday. Not a sports fan. Sports fan says Monday Night Football, maybe even watch playoffs. If it's a good matchup, I'm going to watch playoffs before I watch Monday Night Football. A regular season game versus playoff game, not close. Tuesday, playoffs. Wednesday, playoffs. Thursday, playoffs and football. Friday, playoffs. And then Saturday, Sunday, playoffs and football. So, or you may opt for May, June. You may opt for the Masters, U.S. Open, Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA playoffs, Kentucky Derby, start of baseball season. Now that's hopping too. Because for 2 months, you have something going on every single night. It's either hockey playoffs, basketball playoffs, or both. And then you get the finals, Stanley Cup finals, NBA finals. Usually it's every other night. Boom, 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 boom. So I don't know which is better. I keep going back and forth a little bit. If you're a football fan, you're going to say this month is the best of all time. If you're a guy that likes playoffs like I do, the intensity of the playoffs, you may go May, June because you get Stanley Cup playoffs and NBA playoffs. So either or. Pecs. All right, we're going to get out of here. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy yourselves, and we will see you on Friday. What do we say about the Indians?
Who are these fucking guys?
We got try that again. If I can sync that up, we're going to do it. Let's do it right. If I can get that thing going. I'm not
Who are these
leaving. Here
fucking
we go.
guys?
Exactly. They're shitty. And then later in the film, they go, they're still shitty. As the team was getting better, now they're still shitty. Who are these fucking guys is right. If you like watching the baseball playoffs, you better learn who these fucking guys are because it looks like the Cleveland Indians in the movie Guardians in real life are going to be joining the party once again. Until Friday. See ya.